Good morning. Record on that. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. I wanted to talk this today about trauma and healing from trauma. Many times when we think about trauma, we think it in really severe terms, like trauma from childhood or trauma from a severe accident. But I define trauma as any experience that we have not yet metabolized. And the truth of the matter is, there's not a single person who have not had a traumatic experience in their life. I think taking birth for most is a traumatic experience. So, for example, if someone were to, just barge into my home, break the door open and come in, and even when they don't hurt me or they just leave, finding me there, although the situation has passed, and I would be like, thank God I did not get hurt, but that would have been a traumatic experience because every time the mind gets worried thinking, I don't know when anybody is going to barge into my house. So trauma is an experience, any experience that we don't know how to metabolize and we don't know how to process. So I don't think there's anybody that I have ever met who has not had a traumatic experience. So what happens when the experiences that we have not digested or metabolized, they become part of the subconscious mind. So where is the subconscious mind? The body is the subconscious mind. When these type of experiences accumulate and we don't know to address them, these experiences, the energy of that becomes chronic, and then they begin to manifest as disease. So when we look at disease just at the surface level, it truly is a Band-Aid approach because that which manifested into disease has not been metabolized or digested. So that's the process of healing. And that's the work of Ayurvedic medicine to get into the root cause of the physical symptoms that patients come in complaining with. So what is this process of healing that we are, that we need to understand what that is, or what is that process? So many times, because we are so much in the mental flow, we think a process that it should be predetermined or predefined, or here are the 5 steps that if you follow, you're going to heal that. It doesn't work out like that because healing is an organic process. What I mean by that is it's very individual and it's very personal. You can't will healing. You can't say, well, I've got to heal this and let's go. It doesn't work like that. That which needs to heal many times, actually all the time, will show up on the surface. For example, if somebody continues to feel angry, okay, and they can push it away and saying, well, I was angry because A, B, and C. Or this situation, I was angry because of this, this, and this. It's not like that I'm angry, it's the external situation that's making me angry. But when we tune in, and if this kind of experience continues to repeat, then we begin to think, what is it with me that I find myself chronically angry? So that anger begins, it rises in the awareness, and you may begin to notice that it's kind of permeating all aspects of your life. And that's when, there's a little, a sound, the voice that says there's something in here that you need to look at. Many won't look at it. Many who are tuned in, they will look at it and saying, why am I always angry? What really is it going on? So that's a clue for us to go deeper and understand what is underneath that anger and how to heal that. So that process becomes organic because we become present to what shows up in us. And we're willing to take a look at and see what it is that is showing up for me repeatedly and how is that affecting my life and would I like to change that? So even during the process, it meets you exactly where you are. You know, you go through the process. It's simple. It can be very simple. Awareness on the sound of it seems very simple, but it's not easy. And the work of the inner journey, it's not a linear process. There's so many complex mental constructs that we have created over lifetimes and this lifetime that are very integrated and interconnected. One thing affects the other, that once we begin to tap into it, there's a whole network of things of structures that arise to the surface for us to look at. So, you know, I often say that more we heal, more there is to heal. And it really is true, because once you start going inward, that journey, it's a never ending process, because the process of healing is really a process of getting to know yourself, process of getting to your higher self, to the true self with a capital S. How can we ever be done with that? So it continues to expand within us, and that awareness is what begins to show up in our life. Our life becomes better. We work at a different vibrational level. We attract things of the same energy into our life. We are present throughout our life. So the whole life then becomes a meditative process. It's like an active meditative process where you are awake in everything that you're doing. So it's not an easy process. It's not necessarily fun all the time, but it's very interesting, and it actually allows you to show up more and more in your life, and there's more presence and fullness and fulfillment in the life. So the process is very unique. Process is it's not linear, it's organic, it's messy, and it definitely is not easy. And so, you know, when my clients, I can tell you that each client's story is so different and unique, and how I work with them is very different and unique as well. Because Ayurvedic, the science of Ayurveda understands that it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Everybody has a different way of thinking. They have different mental and emotional tendencies, and their body is different. How an underlying a darker or a shadow side shows up, manifests itself in somebody is very unique to them. But I do know this, you know, many times I get clients who are, you know, 50 plus. They're like, I've spent thousands of dollars. I have gone to so many specialists. I've gone to so many doctors. I've even gone to, you know, holistic nutritionists or, you know, other things, or I have a list of vitamins and I don't know what the heck am I doing? Things are not making sense. So, and, you know, my answer to them always is, you know, we can be looking our lifetime and we can be looking there forever if we're not looking in the right place. Not that there's, you know, every modality that's out there, including Western medicine, provides something of value. But what Ayurveda provides is such a holistic and integrated approach. What I mean by that is that if somebody comes to me for digestive issues, if somebody comes to me for hypertension, and yes, these are the complaints and the blood reports, and that's what they're complaining about. And of course, I look at all of that, but we always go deeper. When we go deeper, we're talking about, yes, we're talking about nutrition. What are you eating? How are you living your life, etc. But that's not the deep cause either. We go even deeper than that, you know, they're about their life. And it's really funny that when people come to see me, they begin to talk about trauma or the abuse or the neglect or the bad relationship that they've had or the job that they hate. And because they sense that when, you know, Ayurveda healing, they sense that this is a much more holistic and a wider umbrella, wider view to an approach to what they need to go through. So we work at the deeper levels. So where are the deeper levels? And we look at the energetics. When we talk about the subconscious, it is the energetics. There's a physical, there's a non-physical. So the non-physical is the energy part, right? And how it manifests in the physical body, but that's not where it started from. When we think about thoughts and experiences, what are they? They are energy, because you can't touch them, you can't see them, but you can experience them. So we have to go deep into the energetics. And as I mentioned earlier, in one of my videos, energy is not something that started with us, when we were born into this lifetime, and it doesn't end when we leave the body. It's a continuum. So which means we bring energies from past lifetimes, from prior lifetimes within us that needs to be healed. So we go all the way back into how they came into this world. What did they bring into this world? What were their lessons to learn? And so it's a very intricate, very interesting, it's a process that works. I get clients who are 50 plus, 60 plus, who've been all their life trying to wondering what is going on with them. They think they're doing everything right. Everything seems to be okay, but nothing is okay. Nothing seems to function or work in their life. They have high anxiety. Life does not make sense. And they just, then body shows up. They have, either severe digestive issues, or they have hypertension, or they have insomnia, or they have, rashes, arthritis. You can, it's just endless, the list of complaints that they have, list of symptoms they have. So that's the work we do. And one of the techniques that I use for this inner journey, the healing journey, is called the 6A technique. And the 6A technique, I been working with it for the last few years, and it has been so profound for my clients. And I know it has been so profound for me individually. I worked with a teacher for over a year, going through my own process, learning the technique, and I use it all the time because it's needed. So the 6A technique is acceptance, allowance. Scratch that. So the 6A technique is first is awareness, then it's allowance, then acceptance, appreciation, application, and anchoring. And I have posted a link that you can click to read more about that technique. It's on my website. It's a very powerful technique. I really call it the highest yoga. So the highest yoga is when we connect, when we unite to our light and our dark into this one flow. That's the highest yoga. So that technique has been pivotal, has been profound. It is, but for each of my clients, but again, the technique works differently for everybody. The processes work simultaneously. Many times we're just sitting at the awareness. We're not aware. Many times we get stuck at the acceptance. That's where all the resistance, the pain, the shame, guilt, and it creeps up. We don't want to deal with it. So it's a process. It's not a magic wand. But I do know this, that anytime, even when I bring a little bit of that process and I walk my clients through it, their experience is, oh my God, relief for the very first time. So they find relief. So we could be looking forever and not find the thing, the technique or the process that work for us. So if you are struggling in your life where nothing is making sense, if there's lack of motivation, which is very common during this time, but that it's not just COVID. The lack of motivation has there, I think what COVID has done, it has revealed, brought to the surface all that needs our attention and needs healing. So if you have experienced trauma, if you are lacking that energy, the motivation, your mojo in your life, if your health is not where you would like it to be, if you're not sleeping properly, and if things are just not working well, even if you may not have these huge symptoms, but the symptoms are you knowing yourself that life isn't working how it should. It doesn't necessarily always have to show up on the body. Sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it does, but many times it doesn't. It just becomes a chronic state of being. Then I invite you to, first of all, click the link and look at the 6A technique. And if you are resonating with that, and if you'd like to work with me, I will also post a link where you can fill out an initial consultation questionnaire. It has 10 questions. When I get that, I can schedule a phone consult with you. I want to make sure we are a match. I want to make sure that I am able to provide the help that you need. So with that, I hope that you got something out of this video, and leave me a comment or let me know that you are here. I'm actually going to go ahead and look on my phone to see if anybody has joined. I don't, so just 1 second. So I'm just going to take a minute to see if anybody has joined or if there are any comments. So watch the video, and if you like it, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And I'm Meena Puri from Ayurvedic Healing Center. This is, you know, my work is in the healing. I call it healing because it's not just physical. It's not just about nutrition. We go all the way where your whole body, mind, and soul is aligned, and you live the life that you are here to live. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you later. Thank you.